Yesterday, Sayadaw explained how a person is called Paṇḍitā. So the person who can overcome the nearest internal enemy. By overcoming the nearest internal enemy, he/she is called Averi, being free from enmity and enemy. By being free from enmity, there will not be any danger, there will be peace. So it is also called Kemi. He/she can be called Kemi. And because he/she is free from internal enemy and also danger, that's why he/she will be fearless. That's why he/she can also be called Nitya. So the person who practices so as to get to the stage of Averi, to be free from enmity, Kemi, to be free from danger and to be peaceful, and to be Nitya, to be free from fear. So this person is called Paṇḍitā, a wise person. So based on the person, other beings will be protected. So he/she is said to be protecting other beings. And also he/she is helping others with good intention and good aim by supporting material things, and also said to be protecting others by controlling oneself. So that's why it is said that by fulfilling sila, morality, one is said to be giving abhaya dana to others. So by observing morality, by fulfilling morality, he/she is said to be giving others abhaya dana, giving them fearlessness. So that's why this sila can also be called dana, because by observing precepts, by observing, fulfilling morality, he/she is said to be giving fearlessness to other beings. That's why sila can be called dana, and this kind of dana is called abhaya dana. So in the text, it mentions that sila is called abhaya dana because by observing sila, one is said to be protecting others, protecting other beings from being hurt. So by observing sila, one is said to be refraining from transgression, misconduct and cruelty, which the wise people do not like. So if one can control oneself so that one will not be committing transgression, controlling oneself so that one's physical, verbal action be clean and pure, he/she is also said to be protecting others from being hurt. That's why observing sila is a way of protecting other beings from being hurt. So it's a way of giving abhaya dana. So that's why sila is also called abhaya dana. So according to the text, by overcoming the nearest internal enemy, he/she will not be committing transgression. Having compassion towards others, he/she will be refraining from misconduct. So by refraining from misconduct, with compassion towards others, he, she is also said to be controlling oneself. And in the same way, by controlling oneself so that one will not commit transgression by body and speech, he, she is also said to be protecting others from being hurt. So in this way, one is having victory over the internal enemy. So it is also a way of having victory over oneself. So when one can have victory over oneself, the surrounding world will not suffer. So there will be peace in the society and surrounding. So Sila, basic morality, plays a very important role in world peace. Because if one fails to observe Sila, then there will be a lot of suffering. By observing Sila, there will be peace in the world. And one will not be hurting others, as well as controlling, having full control or having victory over the internal enemy. So it will be two at a blow. By observing Sila, he, she is said to be having victory over the internal enemy, as well as protecting others from being hurt. That's why it is two at a blow. So the person who is free from internal enemy and also danger, he, she is called a wise person. So it is Buddha who taught that a person who is free from internal enemy and all the dangers that can arise from the internal enemy. So the person who is free from internal enemy and danger is called a wise person. So in Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha taught who are the wise and who are the foolish. So today Sayadaw will explain distinctly who is called a wise person and who is called a foolish person. So what differentiates a wise person and a foolish person is their own deed. So his or her action by body, speech and mind will recognize him as a foolish person or a wise person. So that's why someone's action by body, speech and mind will differentiate him as a good or a bad person. That's why a person's bodily action, verbal action and mental action are the characteristics or marks which makes him be called, which makes him a bad person or a good person. So by seeing his or her action, one can know whether or not the person is foolish or wise. So when seeing a person's disposition, his action, the way he, she acts, will make him or her ugly or beautiful. So that's why a person's disposition and action will name him whether he is a whether she is a wise person or foolish person. So if the person is endowed with three things, she is called a phala, a foolish person. So what are the three? The three are bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, and mental misconduct. So if a person is endowed with bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, and mental misconduct, she is a phala. So the bodily misconduct are torturing, tormenting, killing others, stealing other people's belongings, having sexual misconduct. These are the bodily misconduct. And the verbal misconduct is lying, slandering, harsh speech, cursing, swearing, and also frivolous talk are called verbal misconduct. And the mental misconduct is wishing to have other people's belongings by force, wanting others to be killed or to be ruined, thinking, when is he gonna die? When is she gonna die? And also having wrong view that good deeds do not bring good results, bad deeds do not bring bad results. So these are the mental misconduct. So a person who is endowed with three kinds of misconduct by body, speech, and mind is called a phala. So a Paṇḍitā, a wise person, is opposite of phala. A person who is endowed with three kinds of quality is called Paṇḍitā. So the three qualities are, the first one is bodily good conduct, verbal good conduct, and mental good conduct. By refraining from bodily misconduct, his or her bodily action will be pure and clean. And one should also refrain from verbal misconduct. And concerning with speech, one should only talk things that are conducive to friendliness. One should speak only sweet, polite talk, and also one should speak what is beneficial. So in this way, his or her verbal action will be pure and clean. And also, one should have mental good action. One must have the wish to help others with material things. One doesn't want to take other people's belongings by force, but one wants to support other people with material things, wanting the welfare of others, having patience, forgiveness, sacrifice, consideration, compassion. So these are the mental actions which are good. So just as there is suitable food and unsuitable food, suitable food will make the person healthy and fresh. Unsuitable food will make the person suffer and become ill. So in the same way, good action by body, speech, and mind will bring good results. Bad action by body, speech, and mind will bring bad results. So one should have this knowledge that good things bring good results, bad things bring bad results. So this is the mental behavior that one should have. So having good action by body, speech and mind, which is pure and clean, he, she is called Paṇḍitā. So Buddha said one should learn, practice and try hard so that one will be overcoming misconduct. So bad disposition, being cruel, committing transgression is making the person a foolish one. Good action, having courage to refrain from things that should be refrained, having courage to do things that should be done, he, she is a Paṇḍitā, wise person. So that's why one should get rid of the causes which can make a person a foolish one, and one should try hard to fulfill the causes which can make a person a wise one. So in order to become Paṇḍitā, one should learn, one should practice, one should try hard with courage things that should be done. So one should refrain from things that should be refrained, and one should perform things that should be performed. That's why it is said, Sikkhidatta, one should learn, one should practice, one should try hard in doing things that should be done. So most of the people in the world, they are afraid of physical illnesses and diseases. But they are not afraid of mental illness, which is many times worse than the physical illness. So nowadays, people are afraid of diseases such as plague, smallpox, tuberculosis, cancer, AIDS, anthrax, bird flu, avian flu, and so on. So the diseases like AIDS, they are incurable, and they are staying away from the patients who are suffering from contagious diseases. But actually, these people are having fear on wrong things. What they should really be fearful, what they should really be afraid, is the misconduct by body, speech and mind, which is making the person inhuman. So, majority of the people in the world, they are more concerned, they are more afraid of the physical diseases. And people in the world are afflicted with many kinds of physical illnesses, and also there are majority of people who are afflicted with mental illness. So people are fighting between one group and the other, between one country and the other, and people are taking other people's belongings by force, doing sexual misconduct, lying. So these mental diseases are more frightening than the physical disease. But people are not afraid of such misconduct, but they are more afraid of physical illness. So, in the present, people are afflicted with misconduct. In the future as well, they will be afflicted with misconduct. So people will be afflicted with misconduct so long as they do not shape themselves, so long as they do not correct themselves. So in the world, physicians and professors, they are looking for ways so that these illnesses, physical illnesses, will be cured. So physicians are doing whatever they can so that people will be free from the fear of these diseases. So people rely or depend on the physicians and professors in order to refrain from these diseases, in order to prevent these illnesses. So people are relying on these doctors, physicians in preventing, refraining, curing, suppressing and uprooting these physical illnesses. Just as they are trying hard in order to prevent, cure, suppress and uproot the physical diseases, but they do not do anything in order to cure the mental disease. So they are not doing anything in order to refrain, prevent, cure, suppress and uproot the misconduct. So they are very slow in doing what is necessary in order to overcome misconduct. Most of the people, they are doing business for themselves, for their family, but they are not doing much in order to eradicate the misconduct by body, speech and mind. If one doesn't have faith and confidence on these professors and physicians, and if they are doing whatever they want to, then they will catch all these illnesses and diseases and they will suffer. So that's why they need to have faith and confidence on these professors in order to refrain, prevent, cure, suppress and uproot these physical illnesses. So in the same way, one should not be slow in order to prevent, cure, suppress and uproot the mental diseases. So one should do it the fastest, in the most effective way, to the most complete level. So one should try very hard for oneself, for one family, to mold oneself so that one can get rid of these misconduct by body, speech and mind. So if one does not reshape oneself in time, if one is very slow to mold oneself, what will be the consequences? So it is just like the saying, the path that a foolish person walks is burning like a fire. So in the text, it is explained that the path or the way that a foolish person walks is burning. So just like when a thunder strikes or when fire breaks out, all the trees, bushes, villages and towns will get burned, and it will only leave ashes, soot and coal. It will be all black and dirty. So in the same way, the path or the way that a foolish person walks will be burning. On the other hand, the path or the way that a wise person walks will be cool and peaceful. Just as when the rain comes, all the streams and rivers will be filled, farmers will be able to do their work smoothly because there is water, and the farmers will become successful in their work, so they will be happy. So in the same way, the path that a wise person walks will be smooth and cool. In the world where it is deteriorating, there will be more foolish people than the wise. In the world where there is good, there will be more wise than the foolish. But now the world is deteriorating, that's why there is more foolish than the wise. And the path or the way that the foolish person walks will be burning like fire. So it is because people are doing misconduct, people are doing transgression, and they have no moral conduct. If someone else has to take responsibility of other people's wrongdoing, then it is not practical. So if you blame on others for one's own wrongdoing also, it is not practical. So if physical diseases break out, it cannot be solved just by praying or making wishes, but one should seek help from medical professor. So staying or taking prescription from the medical professor, one can refrain from fearful diseases. One should make it a point to refrain from contagious diseases. One should be mindful in order to avoid, prevent, cure, suppress and uproot these physical diseases. So, in the same way, one cannot just wish or pray or recite in order to overcome the internal diseases, which are the defilements. So if the defilement fire breaks out, then one cannot blame on others. So one should not blame on others, or one should not ask somebody to take responsibility. It is not fair if somebody else has to take the responsibility of others' wrongful doing. So what one should do is that one should refrain from misconduct. Bodily and verbal misconduct should be refrained. And the mental misconduct should be prevented, cured with mindfulness. So in order to uproot these defilements, one needs to practice Vipassana meditation. When one develops Vipassana jnana stage by stage, and finally when one attains Magga jnana, path knowledge, one can overcome certain defilements. And by attaining fruition knowledge, Phala jnana, one can tranquil the defilements. So in this way, one should uproot and tranquil the defilements which has been following throughout the samsara by practicing, so as to attain at least the first Magga Phala jnana, at least the first stage of path and fruition knowledge. So by following the teaching of the Buddha, one should be mindful at the moment of presently arising object. One should be mindful whatever object that arises. In order to be mindful of the presently arising object, one needs to aim the mind towards the object and put effort so that the noting mind will fall on the object of meditation. So in this way, one should prevent and cure this defilement disease by practicing Vipassana meditation. And when one has attained Magga jnana, path knowledge, one can uproot certain defilements. And by attaining Phala jnana, fruition knowledge, one can tranquilize, one can calm the certain defilements. So may you all be able to practice so that you will be attaining Magga Phala jnana, path and fruition knowledge, so that you can uproot the defilements. And may you all be able to refrain from physical, verbal misconduct. May you all be able to practice so that you will be extinguishing the internal fire. So may you all be able to practice so that you will at least uproot the defilements that can lead to lower existences.